Hey YouTubes, Geoffrey here in rainy Rotterdam. I want to take a chance to respond to a very timely article I read in The Guardian this morning entitled "I don't mean to ruin your holiday, but Europe hates tourists, and with good reason" by Suzanne Moore. And she uses the article really to list a bunch of ways that tourists are really starting to wear on some very popular cities in Europe, like Venice or Rome or Barcelona, where there are anti-tourist groups that have been going around slashing tires and breaking windows outside of five-star hotels. Fortunately, I haven't seen that level of anti-tourism on my travels, but I definitely have seen a large amount of tourists that I can understand are sparking a little bit of anger. But Moore goes really directly to the point, and she calls a lot of us out, and she really starts the whole thing saying, before you go on and tell me I'm not that kind of tourist, and she really even goes directly at those of us who like to make a distinction between travelers and tourists. And she defines travelers not only as those of us who are looking more for an experience than just for sightseeing, but also as those who are looking for the places off the beaten path or the less glamorous parts of the city, and she really calls those travelers those who can say, oh, I'm a real traveler because I've gone to the real part of the city. And I mean, I think that's nice, but I think she's kind of missed the point. She's really highlighted a lot of ways that tourists are wearing on local communities, but you can be a tourist or a traveler and you can still be rude. And I think that's why things like, when I hear people who haven't even bothered to even try to learn any of the local language, granted I haven't been great here in the Netherlands because, well, I think a lot of the Dutch people I've met are better in English than a lot of Americans I know. It just shows that you're not recognizing that we're guests in these countries, and we're only here and enjoying our time here because of the good graces of the local population. So, when people are supporting the tourist buses that just clog up the streets and pollute the air, or the hotel industry that jacks up rent prices, or the Airbnb industry that's making some places unaffordable to live, I can understand that Europe is getting weary of tourists because, frankly, they're wearisome. They're loud and obnoxious, and they seem to act with impunity, and they litter, and frankly, they're just annoying. And I think that's what bothers me the most about it, is I really try my best. I don't always do that well, but I try not to be that annoying tourist. And I try to blend in as much as possible, and I try, even if I only know a few words in the local language, just to try to meet them halfway, because I recognize that most people in Europe have spent a lot of their life learning my native language, and I never really had to learn a foreign language. So I don't want to be all high and mighty here, but I'll respond to Mrs. Moore's assertion that I don't think I am that kind of tourist. And sometimes I have an issue about it, but I do my best. Well, until next time.